Cha-ching, cha-ching. You know what time it is? It's the Real Money Coach Show. Listen, we are happy that you're here. I was just really chuckling when I was waiting for that cha-ching to happen because I was teaching a financial literacy class to some fourth and fifth graders. One of the fifth grade boys came up to me and says, "My mom watches your show, and my favorite part is the cha-ching." And so it just made me think about that. But wherever you are, where you're watching from, please put it in the chat where you're watching from, what part of the country, what state. Put your name and where you are watching from so that we know who's out there. Charles, man, he done took over the number one spot in checking in first, right? It used to be taken by a couple other ladies, but Charles said, no, I'm in the house all the way from California. I'm going to check in. I'm going to be number one to check it in. Good to see you tonight. I think I've been maybe a couple times a week, Charles. We've been on the same webinars, Zooms, those type of things. So glad to have you. I'm glad that you're here and that you're joining us tonight because we have a great show for you tonight. We got a show that we're going to talk about. Y'all saw it, right? Get Serious seminar. Now that's something we're gonna have to unpack, right? Talking about getting serious because too many of us playing games. It's time to get serious and get at it. Listen, yes, that's right. What am I talking about? Talking about getting serious. Listen, I do want to just keep reminding you this on a weekly basis that we have the Power Networking Experience and Expo coming up. We had a phenomenal meeting today. We have really 4 tracks. We got, power networking for men, power networking women, power networking couples, and power networking millennials. These are the tracks that we'll be talking about on different days. There's a wonderful golf event that's going to be taking place at Top Golf on Wednesday night. It's going to be a great time for you to come out, network, and meet people. That's going to be phenomenal. It's being hosted by Our Legacies Foundation, and we'll drop a video. We showed the video before. We'll do that again, as well as Mary Lyle's welcome video. Welcome everyone in the PNC Nation to the Queen City. That's going to take place July 10th through the 13th at the Westin Hotel in Uptown Charlotte. Now, if y'all come here and y'all say downtown, everybody gonna know you're not from here. So it's Uptown Charlotte, right? Uptown Charlotte at the Westin. The event is taking place over at the Convention Center, which is simply a skywalk. You walk right over. You're in the Convention Center. Also, we have the train, the Lennox that runs through there. That if you fly in and you don't have a car, you can simply jump on the train, be able to take it out there to Top Golf if you decide to do that in other spots in the Uptown area. And don't y'all get mad at me, but I was telling someone the other day that our train is safe. I mean, my guest, she's been on that train before. We've done the train. I mean, and I said this, and maybe I shouldn't, but I said it's not like the L in Chicago. It's a little different than that, right? So, and if you've ever been on the L in Chicago, you know what I'm talking about. But it is a great way to get around the city. And so we're looking forward to you being a part of it and being a part of that experience. And it truly is experience. I certainly cannot wait for my co-host to come and attend. It is just going to blow her mind like it did mine. So speaking of her, why don't y'all put a shout out in the chat for my co-host? Let's bring her on, Mrs. Michelle Mitchell.
Hey, Tony.
Hey, Michelle, how you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
Oh, I'm doing good. Everything's lovely. How's things in Kalamazoo, Michigan?
Good. It's going well.
Going well?
Yeah.
So let me see. Tomorrow is Wednesday. Is this
Tomorrow?
a financial roundtable Wednesday?
Yes, it is.
Okay. Because I
I
can't
know.
remember, is it every first,
It's
second Wednesday?
it's the second Wednesday of the month.
second Wednesday of each month at 1 p.m.
At 1 p.m. Yes.
And what will be the topic tomorrow?
The topic tomorrow is financial literacy, and
Okay.
we are demystifying financial statements.
Demystifying financial statements. It's very interesting because financial statements do intimidate people sometimes.
Absolutely. They
Yeah.
do.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
you're going to demystify it so that people are
Yeah.
not intimidated by the income statement and profit and loss and all that good stuff.
Right. And the statement of cash flows. Yeah.
That's my favorite one. You know,
Right.
I talk about the velocity of money.
Yeah.
So
How is the cash flowing, right?
how is the cash flowing? Because if
Yeah.
you don't make money,
It don't make
it
sense.
makes sense. Right. So pretty awesome. I know you guys do a wonderful job. I've been kind of watching a little bit, you know, what you guys got going. Lauren seems to be really kind of.
Actually, I should have had her come in here because Lauren is here today.
Lauren should pop in and say hi to the people.
Lauren should pop in and say hi to
Say hi
the
to the
people.
people. Lauren needs to be one of our guests one night. You know, we need to have Lauren come on and be a guest. with
Yeah.
us. And I think
Yeah.
that would be great. That'd be
Yeah,
a
she
great
can
thing.
do that. Yeah, Lauren came in town today so we could film our company story.
Oh, okay. Now, you know what? I guess I did not realize Lauren did not live in Kalamazoo.
No, she lives in Virginia.
I did. You know, I don't know why. I mean, I should have known that, but I
Yeah.
just didn't. You know, you
Yeah.
don't think about it now as much
Right.
because of, you know, we
Yeah.
do so many things virtually and that type of thing. So,
Yeah.
well, you know, Michelle, I was pretty excited about the recent basketball stuff. Being in North Carolina, barely in North
Right.
Carolina from South
Barely.
Carolina. I was
Yeah.
so happy to see the girls win. And tell me, what do you think about Dawn? What do you think about Dawn Stately, the coach? Have you seen much about her?
I haven't seen much about her. I've seen things about her in the past, and obviously she is a outstanding coach.
Outstanding coach. But I gotta pause right here because Joyce Potter, Aunt Joyce is on the call tonight. Aunt Joyce from Jackson, Michigan. She is a miracle, a God working miracle, how God has kept her. And so I have to say a shout out to Aunt Joyce tonight. So wonderful to have you watching tonight, Aunt Joyce. And hello, Alice Martin. Thank you for being here as well. So we are excited. But here's there was a lot of controversy, right? Because of her proclamation of faith. And so when they won, I think it was either the Elite Eight or maybe it was Elite Eight. And she was just talking about her faith, and she caught a lot of flack because of that. And there was a group out of Ohio, but it was a group out of Ohio.
Interesting.
And they were really giving her a hard time because of her proclamation of faith. And they said that she's forcing it on them, and that she has like these devotions before they play with her team and all this kind of stuff. But I'm talking about 36-0.
Right.
With all brand new starters.
Right.
5 brand new starters.
Yeah.
Right. And they've lost 1 game in the last 2 years.
Wow.
Now that's a dynasty.
Yeah, it is. That's amazing in and of itself.
Yeah.
That tells you what the teammates think about who's leading them because they trust her.
Right.
Right.
And then when they won the championship the other night, she doubled down on it. All this controversy came out because of the other. And she's like, bunk that. She doubled down on it. And so I want to just give a shout out to her. Man, Dawn, if you're watching, we need to get you on the show. Right.
Right.
So Coach Dawn, so it's pretty awesome to see. So, well, Michelle, we have a great guest on tonight. It was a guest that was on. Now, Michelle, this is a rarity, right? Because this is a guest that was on before you.
What?
Co-host. So No, before
Before
you
I
were a co-host.
was the co-host. Gotcha,
Before
gotcha,
you were
gotcha.
co-host. Because
Okay.
you've been co-hosted for a
For
minute.
quite some time.
Yeah,
Yes.
for a minute,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
But you were the first, well, actually the second guest.
I was the second guest. Yes.
But you was the first repeat guest.
Yes, I was.
So you hold that record, right?
Right.
So it is in the person of Ryan Ray. I'll tell you more about him after we take a quick break, show you a couple quick commercials, and then we'll be right back and bring our guest on.
Awesome.
Do you have passion for your business but feel like your finances are falling short? Running a business takes more than a great idea. It takes a solid financial plan. Mitchell Consulting can help you turn your passion into profit with their financial advisory services. Get the financial guidance your business needs. Contact Mitchell Consulting to learn more about their passion to profit capabilities.
Imagine a life where financial wellness isn't just a dream, but your reality. Welcome to a journey where increasing, protecting, and dominating your money becomes the new normal. With the Real Money Coach, embark on a path towards legacy wealth. Your financial future is not just a matter of chance, it's a matter of choice. It all begins with your free financial wellness checkup. Join us at the Real Money Coach and discover the steps to secure a legacy of wealth for your family. The keys to true financial freedom are within your grasp. Let's build that future, starting now.
All right, Michelle, how do they get a hold of you? For those who are watching this by podcast or podcasts on Google or Spotify or Apple, all those podcasting platforms that we go to.
Yes. So you can reach Mitchell Consulting at mitchellconsultingservice.com. And if you would like to join our roundtable tomorrow, click on the banner that pops up when you go to the website and join us.
Awesome. And as you know, if you want to get a hold of the Real Money Coach, just go to that website, therealmoneycoach.com, and get your free financial wellness checkup, as well as find out about your retirement taxes. There's a calculator right there on the website. Now, Michelle, next week, and maybe next week, the project is due tomorrow. As I mentioned before, UNC Charlotte, there's I think it's a motions graphics class that is creating this 30-second commercial for me.
Okay.
And so my job was to the plan was that I was going to travel to Raleigh tomorrow or Chapel Hill, and they were going to present their 2 projects, and I was going to decide.
Yes.
But I think what we're going to do instead is we're going to have both of those projects, and we're going to show them here on our show next week, and then have the listeners actually vote on which one they like the best.
Nice.
So that would be nice. So yes. then I'm gonna have my professional evaluate them. My professional video person.
Your professional video person? Yes. Yes.
Yeah, my godson.
Yes.
I'm gonna say, take a look at these, Antonio. Tell me what you think.
The award-winning godson.
Say that again. Come on, tell everybody about his award.
Yes. My son produced a music video, and it was submitted to Michigan Music Video Awards, and he won for the category of R&B music videos.
Best music video R&B.
Yeah, best music video R&B. Yeah.
So Michelle, we got to show his video.
Yes.
Let's make sure we do that. I want Antonio to come on, and I want him to, we're gonna do like the celebrities, like introduce your video.
Yeah.
And let him show his video. Let's make sure we do that.
It's such a nice video. The he wrote the music, it's really good. Like, I'm so proud of my son.
That's right. But you're my godson to remember me when, right?
Right, exactly. And I'm like, this is just the first of many. I expect to be supporting him at the Grammys. I really do.
You gonna be on the red carpet, girl?
That's right. Mama got to be there, right?
That's me too. I'm coming.
Yes.
Awesome. Well, listen, we have tonight with us Ryan Ray. Ryan is an accomplished results-oriented entrepreneur with a passion for developing leaders, building collaborative partnerships across both public and private sector. He began his careers in sales and marketing upon graduation from North Carolina State University in Raleigh, and leveraging strong work ethic and tenacity, he has since enjoyed a blossoming career to various industries, building extensive background, organizational leadership, consulting, public speaking, team building, and fundraising. But I know him as an entrepreneur, and he leads the Triangle Entrepreneur Leadership, and he is a native of Dunn, North Carolina, and he is the person of Ryan Ray. Ryan, welcome to the stage.
Be here with you, Miss Michelle.
Welcome.
Thank you. Thank you.
All right. See, they just can't stop applauding for you.
The standing ovation. I like it. I underdressed.
Ryan, thank you, man. Thanks. Welcome back to the show. It's been a few years. Good to have you here.
Yeah, man. Glad to be back. As you said earlier, time flies. But yeah, man. Anytime I get an opportunity to speak to someone else's audience, I don't take it lightly. So thank you for trusting me.
Well, man, I appreciate it. I know I attended since you were on this show. I did attend one event there in Raleigh that Dr. Frazier was there.
Mm-hmm.
And so, man, I know he's going to be back this weekend. We'll talk about that in a little bit. But man, before we get into that, just tell our audience a little bit about you and your background, what you're passionate about, and a little bit about your entrepreneurship organization that you're leading.
Yeah, I appreciate that, man. Yeah, just through a series of events, it happened in my own life. I just felt led and called to offer that same support, mentorship that was offered to me so many years ago to others. And so in 2015, organized an organization called Triangle Entrepreneurial Leadership. We launched it with a conference. And since then, man, we've been doing, conferences, workshops, seminars. The mission of that organization is to educate, empower, and equip. Information is great, but alone it's not enough. You need to be empowered, given permission, build a belief that you can do something worthwhile. And then from there, you need the tools, right? What are the tools? What are the hacks? What are the relationships that are necessary to accomplish what it is you're trying to accomplish, to build what you're trying to build? And so, we started that work. And what I found really quickly, man, was that the way people do life is also how they do business. And so when we started digging into a lot of the business owners and entrepreneurs we were supporting, we learned that there was a lot of financial gaps, right? Financial education gaps, financial literacy gaps. And as I began to kind of take that path myself and begin to explore that, I realized, wow, there is a tremendous opportunity to go out and be a pioneer, if you will, an ambassador for this thing called financial literacy. And I defined that as, simply just not having the knowledge, right? If we were illiterate and couldn't read, that would be a problem, right? That would cause us some challenges in our life. And it's the same thing. If you're financially illiterate, you don't understand the use and management of money, that's going to cause some problems and some challenges in your life. And so our mission, man, our passions are aligned in helping people to overcome those challenges and begin to thrive in their finances, because it's important. We know that it's very important.
Well, such a timely message, because this is Financial Literacy Awareness Month.
Yep.
And what I like about it is that you have the entrepreneurship piece and the financial literacy piece. It's kind of like the three of us are kind of intertwined, right? Because I do a lot on the personal side. Michelle does a lot with the business owners. You're kind of doing a little bit of the both, and that's pretty awesome. So what type of things are you doing to help like the entrepreneurs in their journey in terms of with financial literacy?
Yeah, well, the main thing I've been doing lately, COVID, caused us all, I think, to kind of take a look at our business and what we're doing. And when I launched back in 2015, man, I could throw an event up and, pack the room out, right? I feel like we were early to that entrepreneurial support game. But after COVID and the George Floyd stuff and all of that, so many entrepreneur support organizations and things have come out, and that's great. And so we just kind of reposition ourselves in the market as really a cohort-led model. So now I do more cohort-led models, 12, 15. I've had as many as probably 20 people go through a cohort where we're offering business training, we're offering mentorship, we're offering coaching. Our goal is that individuals leave these workshops, whether they need the funding or not, but they leave with a bankable business model. And so inside of that, then of course we have tremendous opportunity to teach the principles of financial literacy. And so I enjoy that because it allows us to work more one-on-one with individuals.
Okay. So what's your background? What's your major in and all that kind of stuff?
None of that.
Well, then I know that's perfect. It's perfect.
Right.
I mean, school of hard knocks, bro. I mean, it's funny, man. I went, high school. I went to a small high school down in, of course it was small, in Dunn, North Carolina. And, high school was a joke, right? You just do what you need to do, you get out. And but I had no study habits, man. So I went to college, and I tell people I crammed 4 years into 5.5. And really just trying to figure out what it was I wanted to do. I came in agriculture and life sciences, and I was over there in economics. I was over there in computer science. I was over there in business, and nothing landed. Nothing really just, stared me up. And it wasn't until after graduation, I did have some early success in sales. So I knew I enjoyed the relationships with people, and, I embraced this idea of sales. And through some life-changing experiences, I had a mentor who basically said, Ryan, you can be a student of success. You can be a student of yourself. You can invest in yourself. You can become a person of value. And I tell you, Tony, that resonated, man. That made a ton of sense.
Yeah.
And
that sounds like it was changing.
Yeah, it was. I became a student of personal development, personal growth. And I mean, I slapped myself on the hand, but I was a 27-year-old high school graduate, had a college degree, and I'd never read a book. Right, like I was illiterate, if you will, because I mean, the man who can read and won't is no better than the man who can't, right? Mm-hmm. And so he said, "Look, Ryan, leaders are readers," and he took me in his office and was, had books all around, and I bought into it, man. Long story short, and I just became this student, man, digging into YouTube and these things called cassette tapes. Y'all probably too young to remember those.
No.
Ride around and transcribe cassette tapes, man. Just trying to learn, trying to unlearn, right? And I want to get ahead of ourselves, but I had to unlearn what the people who love me the most taught me, right? But they didn't really know and understand these principles that we teach. So I had to unlearn a lot and then learn the things that worked. And so going through that process, man, I got really excited, saw the results begin to happen in my own life, and said, man, if I didn't know this stuff, there's got to be 2 or 3 other people who don't. And I want to find them and see if I can pour into them.
Oh, that's good.
Awesome. Yeah.
So let's shift it a little bit, because I was so intrigued. Of course, we share a mentor in Dr. George Fraser. And I know that he's going to be here in North Carolina. He's going to be over in Raleigh this weekend. And I saw something you were doing, and it really intrigued me. It says, Get Serious Seminar. And I'm like, okay, that's a good name. Now tell me what the Get Serious Seminar. And first of all, what inspired that? Where did that name come from? And then kind of tell us a little bit about what's going on.
Yeah, no, great question. So, probably, I don't know, 4 or 6 months ago, I was out for a walk, and, I try to be introspective a bit, and, just trying to be in tune with what's going on in the world, right? Where can I offer value? Where are there opportunities? And I was going for a walk, and I was actually listening to, I think, a YouTube video of one of my favorite speakers, Mr. Jim Rohn. And in that talk I was listening to, he was like, you got to get serious about life. He's really casual with it. And, here's how you get serious, and you got to be a student, and you got to this. And it just hit me. I don't know if you guys remember back in the day, Get Motivated seminars. Y'all remember that model? So basically, it was like a traveling circuit, right? And they had all these top speakers. That's where I met Jim Rohn, Zig Ziglar, Les Brown. I met all these guys. And if they were within driving distance, man, I was there. This is when I was really locked in, just trying to find the secrets. And I was really inspired by those things. And so when I heard Get Serious, it brought me back to Get Motivated seminars. And so I said, Get Serious seminars. And that's how it was birthed, man. And because, you know, you said it earlier, right? Like we've gotten real complacent in the world today.
So tell us a little bit about what's the vision for the seminars.
Yeah. So, you know, Get Serious seminar is really like we're still unpacking it, right? It's a transformative seminar model that's really designed to address not just entrepreneurship, right? But as I mentioned earlier, like life, right? Like, you know, I believe, and this is what I believe, is that our business entrepreneurship should be subject to our life, right? Like, why are you doing business if it's not to serve the lifestyle you desire?
Right.
But that's not really what we're taught, right? We're taught build a business, invest in your business, be a strong entrepreneur. Well, what about being a great husband who has a business that allows him to take care of his family and have free time, you know? But we focus so much on the business. And what my mentor said is that the greatest investment you can ever make is in yourself, right? So Get Serious seminars is really about taking life serious, right? But also, how do you juggle the multifaceted challenges that are embedded in life? And then if you're an entrepreneur, then those challenges are compounded, right? And so in this seminar model, you know, it's all about engaging sessions, workshops, you know, who are folks who, again, get motivated, who are the folks that got the hacks, that's got the secrets, that's got the programs, that has the services that can help people overcome these challenges. And then the other thing I love is community, right? Like, we feel like because of social media, because of whatever, we're so disconnected, it's ridiculous. But we feel like because we see one another on social media, we're connected. No, sir. Transformation, which I believe we're all seeking, happens in community. And so these Get Serious seminars, and I'm glad it excited you, so I'm hoping it translates and transfers into others. But it's also about bringing people together who are just tired, man, of living a defeated life, which we don't have to, you know, who've lost a sense of purpose, who've taken a back seat, who play a co-starring role instead of a starring role in their life, to come together and inspire one another in the direction of our goals and dreams. Because if we don't, then we end up with the results and statistics that we have, right? Michelle, I see you nodding, so you I can talk about it all.
You are speaking my language. Yes, you are.
Don't be a co-star in your own life. Woo.
Don't be a co-star in your own life.
Go play a starring role.
You get to direct it where it should be going.
You get to sit in the director's chair, right? But so many of us are just standing sideline watching. You know, hoping things get better, hoping everything works out, you know, blaming all the other problems. Listen, we have problems. I'm never going to say that there aren't issues. But what I love about reading and storytelling and community is that most of the time, if you're in a room with more than 6 or 7 people, you will not trade places with. There's somebody in that room you will not trade places with.
Absolutely.
Right? So you come up with all the excuses you want. Somebody else has it a little tougher than you. So
and you know, and then just different aspects of life too. I mean, you know, there's certain pockets and certain things in your life, man, that always, you know, there's somebody that has it worse than you do. I mean, you know, it's like, you know, it might be health, it might be relationships, it might be some things that they're struggling with. You know, not to mention, you know, the more social ills that we think about, like addictions and all those type of things that we don't know what's going on behind the scenes that people are going through. But I love that idea of just getting serious, because like you said, so many of us are just kind of floating through life.
Yeah.
Mhm.
You're drifting,
You know,
right?
Yeah.
yeah, just drifting.
Letting life
Just
happen
drifting.
to you.
Right.
Yeah.
Instead of you happening, and it's a mindset shift, right?
It
Like,
is.
you know, I mentioned meeting a mentor that really helped me to reset the direction of my life, and he said, Ryan, you are who you are, where you are, what you are in life because of your thinking, right? And I told you at that point in my life, I'd never read a book. You know, I was a church boy, right? Nothing against the church, love the church, but I wasn't learning how to be wealthy, right? Which I think is biblical, right? But
Right.
that's a whole
It
nother
is.
show, right?
We
That's
can
a
go
whole
there.
nother show. That's a whole nother show. But he said, Ryan, you got to change the way you think, right? You got to change your mindset. He said, you know, real quick story. I love telling the story. You know, he took me in his office one day and he said, Ryan, how you doing? Like, how you doing financially? And I said, man, not so good. And he knew the answer. He said, well, who are you getting your financial advice from? Right? He was leading me. He said, who are you getting your financial advice from? And I said, with all the ego and manhood I could muster up, I was like, myself. Right? He said, you got to stop listening to that idiot. Right? He said, you are an expert in bringing yourself to exactly where you are, which is broke, busted, and disgusted. He said, if you want to change that, you got to change who you're hanging out with. You got to change what you're watching, what you're listening to. And again, man, I bought into it. And so, yeah, that's what Get Serious is about, right? It's about inserting yourself into an environment, into a community that transformation will happen. And who better to kick it off than our very own Dr. George Frazier. So
Awesome. You know, you reminded me. You know how we have people and we think we have this super right answer, right? So I'm in the car with Pastor Leo, and it was early in my career, and I was telling him that, you know, the vice president came from the headquarters to meet with me, and we had this conversation, and the vice president asked me, well, what can I do to help your career?
mm-hmm.
And I said, I'm proud of my answer. I told
Chest
him,
out, right?
I did it, chest out. I told him nothing. I said, because I want to do it. I said, and I didn't say it like that, but I said, I want to do it on my own. I want to own my own success. And I was sharing this story with, now I'm 20, I don't know how old, Michelle, I'm 22, 23 years old, right?
Right.
Just out of college. And I shared this with him, and he looked at me, he said, you the biggest fool I ever seen in my life.
Wow.
You know how powerful that question was that he asked?
Yeah.
Mhm.
He was doing this. He was doing this.
He was
Yes.
doing it, and he said, you gave the dumbest answer you ever could think of to give. I was like, but sometimes we think we have it all together, and we put this pride on, and it's like we got it all together, and really sometimes we need to cry out for help, and sometimes we just need that mentorship. We need someone, and I value it now. I didn't value it as much then.
Right.
But I learned very quickly in the corporate world that, you know, mentorship and those type of things are important, and in life, really, for that matter. So.
Yeah. And, you know, there's two pieces to that formula, right? One is, yes, you gotta, you know, for me, I had to hit my rock bottom, right? I had to get to the point where I could say, okay, idiot, you gotta chart a different path, right? But what I like for particularly young people and adults, but particularly young people, like, you don't have to hit your rock bottom to make a change, right? Like, you can decide at any moment, if I keep going in the direction I'm going, I'm not going to end up where I want to be. The other part of that is most people don't know where they want to be. That's what all this is about, man. Like, it's teaching all of these pieces to the puzzle. So the first part of that formula, someone's got to, you know, overcome ego and pride. We know all about what pride does, and be hungry enough for the information, right? But then they've got to be met by a community that welcomes, embraces, and meets them where they are, right? And so, so when those two pieces come together, a hungry, you know, humble student that says, teach me, right?
Mhm.
And
Right.
then a community that says, you know what, I've been there too. I know what you're going through. I know what it feels. When you can merge those two pieces, shout out to my mom and dad who are watching, Floyd and Shelly and
Uh,
events.
oh, that's your mom. Hey, I saw
Yeah.
that Ray. I'm like, hey, it had to been.
Yeah.
I
Right.
love it. Love it.
But when you can
Love
merge those two pieces, and that's where I was, right? Like I was, this kid who, at the time, I mean, by my standards, I felt like I was doing pretty good as a 23, 24, 25-year-old. But there was so much more. And without that mentorship, without that disruption in my life, I'm not where I am today, right? So, but I also
Well,
had to go to the class, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Something you said there too that's so important is that when the two meet, you got the student that's hungry, and then because sometimes either one of those don't come to the table, it don't work. Because I've spoken with people that before, it's like, man, I'm not helping anybody. I bootstrapped it. I did it on my own. You're gonna have to do it on your own. And what a sad way to live, right? And but what I love about the George Frazier's and people like that, Michael V. Roberts and others, is that they're very successful and they're willing to give back. They're willing to just really pour into other people.
Yes.
And I think it charges them really to do that. I think it keeps them going.
Yeah.
And
That's
because
the
of that
secret.
legacy. Yeah.
I mean, that's really how Triangle Entrepreneur Leadership was birthed. I I heard of, I don't know if you remember CEO Space, Bernie Dorman. Those guys, I flew out to Henderson, Nevada. This was probably 2014, 2015. Spent a week at CEO Space, right? I think that's my first time meeting George. And literally, Tony, like upon walking into this 7-day event, I've lost track of how many times very successful people asked me, how can I serve you? How can I support you? What do you need? Where do you feel stuck? Right. And so they had created this culture around service and support to other people and collaboration. And I brought that after I, got myself back together because I was messed up when I came back. I was like, who does this? Right? Like, where's this at? And so when I got back, man, I pulled a team together. Like, look, we got to create an environment where people can come and dream and chase their dreams and bring people who can support them along that journey. And yeah, man, when you take your eyes off your own problems and put them on other people, somehow or another, your problems go away.
Yeah. Pretty awesome. Pretty awesome. Yeah. So I know one of the questions that's in the chat is, are the seminars, are they going to be live or are they going to be virtual or both?
Mr. Charles, well, I think you may have heard us say it. It's all about the community, my friend. So come on up to Raleigh, North Carolina, and be in the room. We may get to the point where we're doing some hybrid model, but man, yeah, we got to come together. George is coming all the way from Ohio, so we're gonna do it live and in color. And yeah, it's tough to manage a hybrid event, in my opinion. And so I like live and in person. So we're gonna do this one live. Well, but we'll take the show on the road. I don't know where you are, Mr. Charles, but we'll take the show on the road as well. We're designing it that way to be able to package it and carry it into other models. Again, much like the Get Motivated model.
He's saying that you know Terrence Oliver, obvious, Terrence and Greta Oliver.
Oh yeah.
Because he has a men building up men. Every first Sunday we are on there, and that's what he's mentioning of. I'll make sure you have the information. It's a great group. I mean, we get about 50 to 100 guys on call, and we just talk about guy stuff.
Well, Tony, that's a whole nother show too, right? No offense, Michelle. So when I was planning this event, I called George. I didn't even look at the calendar, right? And so guess what's happening in Raleigh this weekend? Women's empowerment. like the largest gathering of women
Of
probably
women?
on the East Coast, right? So yeah, I joke a lot like it. And so I'm like, all right, men, come on, let's have our own men's empowerment, welcome to as well. But anyway, man, yeah, man, it's interesting. Again, the statistics that George was sharing the other day, women come together, they're empowered, they're supported,
Yeah.
they're coaching, they're lifting one another up, and that is beautiful. But man, we know how this thing was designed, and if men don't stand up and come together,
Right.
it just complicates the model, right?
Mhm.
Complicates it. So, man, as we are closing out, how do people, if someone wants to attend the seminar this weekend and that stuff, how do they do that?
Yeah, I put it over in the private chat. I don't know if it needs to be copy and pasted over, but yeah, you can go out to Get Serious Launch 2024 at .eventbrite.com. You can also go to GetSeriousSeminars.com. I actually got the landing page up today. So GetSeriousSeminars.com will get you there as well. And yeah, just register. We've got a 2-for-1 going again, kind of modeling that Get Motivated model. And so, yeah, bring a young man, young woman, somebody that needs to be uplifted. Again, we got a 2-for-1 deal going on, and we just want to see people in the room and to leave inspired and motivated and transformed. So,
And what location is it taking place at?
so it's the Life Enrichment Center, which actually is on the back of Wake Chapel Church here in Raleigh. They have an event center called the Life Enrichment Center. So very fitting, because our goal is to enrich the lives of those we come in contact with. But yeah, right here, kind of on the border of Knightdale, if you're familiar with this area. But it's
Well, I think that's the same place you had the event before.
Yep, that's where George came before when we did the Year of the Black Entrepreneur back in 2021. Yep.
Yeah, that's what it was, the Year of the Black Entrepreneur.
Yep, same location.
Awesome. So what you think, Michelle?
It's exciting.
I think it's good. I think it's pretty awesome.
Very good.
And holistic. That's what I like, the holistic approach to it.
Mhm.
And so, man, Dr. Gia, go ahead and pull that up. That's a pretty awesome. There it is. Get Serious Seminars. There's the Eventbrite page. It's also in the chat. And so come on out to Raleigh, North Carolina, and see Ryan Ray and wonderful group out there. So, Ryan, any last words you want to leave with the audience tonight before we?
Yeah, well, a couple things. One, thanks again, man, for the opportunity to come on and share and promote. And definitely love to have the money coach on one of these Get Serious seminars, as well as Mitchell Consulting. I know there's so much value you guys could bring and drop. And so, I would just say, like, if you're, again, sick and tired of being sick and tired, if you feel like you've lost your sense of purpose, if you feel like, you've given up on your dream, if you just feel like the direction your life is headed in isn't going to get you where you want to end up, I challenge you to just get serious. And whether you come to meet with us on Saturday or not, find some people in your life who you can get around that can help show you the way. It's really a decision. And when the student is ready, I promise you the teacher appears. All you have to do is make that decision that you want to get a different result in your life, and it's there waiting for you.
Awesome. What a great testimony. Michelle, here we go again.
Here we go.
Lord has done it again. He done brought a guest again.
A great guest.
Well, y'all make it so easy. The money coach, I mean, come on.
Well, next week we have one of the few Black real estate funds. This is a fund actually traded on the exchange. They live down here, Fort Mill, right down the road here, Black owned. So her and her husband, founders, are going to be on next week. Going to be talking about that process and how to invest in real estate without being a landlord. I think it'll be a very interesting show. That'll be next week. And Ryan, thank you for being here. Everyone have a wonderful, wonderful. One thing I didn't do, Michelle, I didn't talk about my weekend with my grandkids.
I know you didn't.
What was I thinking about? Hey, Well, y'all had a great weekend. So
Right.
up in Cincinnati with the Grands with Trey,
Okay.
23rd.
Yeah.
Good stuff. Good.
And Michelle, let me tell you a secret. He crazy about his granddaddy.
Is he?
Oh yeah.
Of
Sounds
course.
biased, man.
Well, listen, everybody. Thanks for being here tonight. Y'all have a great weekend, and we'll see you next week. Ryan, much
Tommy.
success to you,
Phil.
brother.
Thank you, sir. Appreciate you, man.
Bye bye.
Thank you. Y'all too. Good night.